What's good, y'all? You dub back here again, 2019. Bring y'all all kinds of content. One of the oldest debates, issues in debating with people, one of the most frustrating issues when debating with people, comes in the form of equalized stats. Now, what do I mean by that? In this episode of Comics Lunacy, what are equalized stats? This is gonna be an episode of very bare bones, get straightforward, nothing more, nothing less. Now, equalized stats are one of three things. A, how it's a perspective of if a character is on a certain level, that means everybody on that level should have equalized, like physical stats and such like that. Number two, if a character has a certain power set or ability, it should be equivalent. Like if you're a fire user, you should be able to use fire. See there? Or number three is if somebody is of a similar race or thing like that, or if somebody's of a similar age, somebody of a similar training or whatever, it's equalized. You know, you see this all the time done, and it's just not true. The thing about it is when it comes to power scale, okay, when it comes to combat, people are almost all never equal. Okay, now they may have equivalent uh or nearly on par skill sets in certain attributes. But overall, even if we say they're on par, one person's going to have an advantage in one area and another's going to have it in another area. For example, let's take three legendary boxers. Okay, Muhammad Ali. Two legends that he fought were Big George Foreman and Smoking Joe Frazier. Now he fought Big George in the Rumble in the Jungle back in the 70s, right? And even though he had been on his, he was not quite in his prime, talking about Ali, greatest of all time. Big George, he still had George beat and speed and such, speed reaction time. Big George had Ali beat in power and in strength, physical strength. So as part of styles make fights, that's part of what made the fight iconic and legendary. Okay. When it came to Smoking Joe and Ali, durability, endurance, and reaction time, they were pretty comparable to say the least. Okay, when it came, but just like with versus Foreman, Smoking Joe stronger physically, more power, and Ali had the hand speed and the footwork and such. So it made for very interesting and iconic fights, as well as the differing styles that they brought to the table. Now, you'll see this dealing in you'll see this in discussion with characters like, let's say, Superman versus Thor. People will be like, well, see here, Superman and Thor, they're very comparable. They're on the same level. Dog, one is going to be faster than the other. Okay? Here's another thing. You're saying, well, Superman, if you say Superman's on a certain level, well, guess what? The Flash, Barry Allen, is faster than Superman. Now, I will make a separate video dealing with the Justice League members that can kill Superman and otherwise. But that's a whole other topic. The point being that Flash is significantly faster than Kal-El. But Kal-El has significantly higher levels of strength, durability. You get my point? That's how it works when it comes to fighting. And so, why is equalized stats a problem? Why is it lunacy? Why is it ridiculous? Why is it ludicrous? Equalized stats doesn't take into account that there are differences in abilities. It doesn't take into account hacks powers. It doesn't take into account some potentially broken abilities. It doesn't take into account equipment that might come into play. For example, and so it makes for a very linear um, debate on, oh, because this character is stronger than this one, that character wins, or this character is physically in. If a character is a magic wielder, That magic wielder, if he's good enough, is going to beat that physical character. The Incredible Hulk is more than likely going to lose to adult Franklin Richards. Now, Hulk can beat Franklin Richards, but Franklin Richards has a bunch of abilities that'll make it very difficult for Hulk to win. See what I'm saying? Um, Another example would be Spider-Man versus Luke Cage. Be a very excellent matchup. It's a hard sell. Just because one character, can do one ability or comparable in one area does not make them comparable to another area. And what ends up happening, I see this not so much in comics, because people, comics are pretty quantifiably based. I'll put it like that, is for lack of a better term. But what you see is a lot in manga, because manga doesn't a lot of times give off straight numbers, and there isn't a lot of straight feats that you can base things off of in a comparable nature, because a lot of people these days rock with feat scaling and such. So you'll have a character such as Naruto versus Ichigo. If you're doing a cross versus battle, it can be very difficult to do, because some will say, "Well, see here," but then they'll be like, "But that's just a statement," and you have to actually analyze and do the research of the series. The some could say, "Well, this character can fight this character," and if you know both series, you're like, "That character doesn't stand a chance in hell, and here's why." But then people bring up something, who don't, and this is on the opposite end of why the whole equalized stats even becomes a thing, because you'll have some people pull out a Midora versus Son Goku. Midora from Toriko versus Son Goku. Now, there are certain abilities and hacks abilities. I ain't gonna bore you if you're not into Toriko, don't worry about it. But there's certain hacks abilities that Midora has. People say, "See, Son Goku would get wrecked." No, he wouldn't. No, Son Goku would wreck Midora. As much as I love Midora, he would get absolutely demolished, because Son Goku is so much faster, so much more powerful, and a whole lot of other things that I can get into. Could Midora, if Son Goku is caught slipping? Sure. The likelihood? No. And some of his hacks may not even work on Son Goku because of multiple reasons. So keep that in mind. So this video, I didn't want it to be too long. I just wanted to discuss some of the stuff I see going on out here. You cannot equalize abilities, and you can't just overrate with certain hacks abilities either. It's a fine line, but this is where it comes to do your due diligence, to do your research of both characters, knowing what each brings to the table, and being objective, neutral, and open-minded when it comes to discussing certain characters. Don't be biased because something is your favorite character. There's a lot of times where some of my favorite characters take L's, bro. And I'm okay with that. Why? Because I'm objective when it comes to death matches. That's just what I do. Unexpected Wonder, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this matter. This video isn't too much to talk about, but it's something I wanted to address nonetheless. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.